DNA is shifted and changed through bringing light, which is an expression of love, which is the positive masculine energy. Light is the masculine. So we're working with bringing in a new design of light into our present paradigm, not separating out that there's someplace to ascend to. There's nowhere to go because we're already here. It's about bringing the light in. We're bringing in the higher octave. Spirit Gateways is a higher divine octave work to bring who you are from the coded emotions, the DNA, the trauma, into the light of who you are, into your true self, so that you can live the life that you really are here to live and to be, because you have to evolve your soul.
I got to pause you right there before you go into the next part, because we've heard of epigenetics, right? And the epigenetic expression of biology. And it's no surprise that when people go through crazy trauma, whether it's sexual, physical, car accidents, just anything you could imagine, right? I'm talking about the capital T trauma. There's also the lowercase t, which is like neglect and shunning and not supporting, things like that. So there's an amalgam of trauma that we experience. And then at some point, we just choose to abandon ourselves, which is coming, because this is like your signature process that I really connect with, and that's ABR. So we talked about epigenetics. You definitely brought up the spiritual science of this epigenetic expression when it comes to the trauma and how that literally codes us and almost brands us like a cattle prod. But what actually happens from a biological perspective with the DNA? So once we're getting these beliefs, we're getting this trauma, we're getting all these things that separates us from who we really are, what's actually happening at a cellular level?
Beautiful, beautiful. The nervous system is being overstimulated and it becomes overreactive. The nervous system can't handle trauma. So the nervous system has to be healed through the modalities that you're drawn to. You can choose deep breath meditation. You can choose the Be Light meditations, which include the light and the energies and how they work in the body. You can choose the way you eat. By the biological part of you has to be fed. Either it's fed the trauma and the fear, and if you become addicted to the pain, which I've seen a lot of people do, they do the work with me, but then they cut off. They hold on to the pain of their addiction and they think the pain is real. And then they expect another person to be the one to end their pain. And they are afraid to really respond to the pain, because then they're going to feel like who they are can't exist. They don't exist, because the big T trauma makes us feel like we don't exist. When we get caught in the dark of our own psyche, we have to spend the time shining the light. And this is part of the One in Soul practice that you can read about in One in Soul. We have to shine the light of our highest octave, which is about 10 to 20 feet above our head. Shine it down into our body where that trapped biological DNA and spiritual part of ourself exists, and literally rescue ourselves. We are ending all codependent behaviors because we are now in an interdependent relationship with ourselves. We're literally bringing what's been hiding, stuffed away, up into the light within our heart. So the only requirement to do the Spirit Gateways work is to be willing to feel your heart, even if it's for a moment. Because every second that we come down from our head and, think our thoughts are real, because most of our thoughts aren't even real.
Many of them are just like trash, honestly. You ever feel like you have a trash thought? I mean, like everybody's like raising their hand watching the podcast right now, because I've even heard it in literature too. It's like 85 to 90% of our thoughts are just garbage. Like they're fears, and it's okay. I'm not trying to demonize the mind or tell the mind that it's wrong, but a lot of times it is. And so this biological expression of this, when you get down into the coded levels, like what in your research and in your studies have you found? Obviously, you work on a practical level with people, with your voice, with your energy, with your teachings, but in the back end, in the research, like what really goes down on a cellular level? Is it that cells physically change? Or is it that cells wash away or they decay? Like, I'm just curious from a science standpoint, what might actually go on there?
Wonderful. Yeah, it's not this, what I'm about to say, and everything that I say is not based upon research on the outside. It's actually my own spiritual, scientific exploration of how the psyche and the soul and the mind and body work together and how we naturally heal ourselves. The cells do change, and this has been proven in science, and the cells rejuvenate, and cells are what cells know how to release. When your cell is cleared of the toxins, the thoughts, the pesticides, the vaccinations around the cell level, when you actually cleanse your body, cleanse your mind, then you're able to release all the ancestral stuff back. And when the inner eye opens, which happens in the spirit gateways work, when you stay with it, your third eye opens. Once your third eye is connected with your heart center, solar plexus, your navel, your lower belly, the root center, what happens is you come into an alignment. And that alignment, by staying in that alignment, you're able to heal that deep DNA, the cellular level. And yes, we heal on a cellular level. And light is the fastest way to heal the cells. But first, we have to bring forth what's in the dark recesses of ourself up, go through that pain process. If we abandon the pain process, and I've seen people abandon the pain process before they get to come home to the light that they are. And that always disappoints me, but I can encourage a person and say, stay with it. Don't leave, because I know how to bring you through the darkness. I know I will always be there at a person's side. And even now, creating courses and, stepping into doing group work, online, not in person right now, I'm able to see where a person is stuck inside themselves. And that comes from being born as a clairvoyant, a clairaudient, clairsentient. And how I make use of those skills is to be able to actually see the blueprint within inside of a person, to see the DNA codes, the places where you have left yourself and where the trauma has affected you, and most especially how you've responded to the ancestral, the parental, the familial, I want to call it a bombardment or a love action. Oftentimes they go together. Parents are meant to be clear in themselves and to be conscious of not passing on their stuff to their child, but that is part of the parent-child relationship. To be able to eventually say to your child, listen, I didn't work through that when you were 5, but I have now that you're 20. And I'm sorry. I apologize. I want to share this with you, this info with you, so that you know that you don't have to carry this forward.